Hello. Hello. Everybody see? Is it blurry? Struggling to focus. That's better. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the last day of January 2023. I don't know if anybody can hear me. I have a little heater running here, electric heater, because it's cold as hell down here. And if it's buzzing or too loud, just speak up and let me know. I'll turn it off. So right now the whole family's recovering from COVID. Hey Tony, nice to see you. And we had pretty mild cases, all things considered, comparatively. And we're like quarantining and stuff because we don't want to get anybody else sick. But it's just lingering and annoying, and the fatigue kind of blows, and there's just so much snot. It's like one of the juiciest illnesses we've ever had. But our work schedules have been disrupted quite a bit from being sick. And so I'm going to try and come down and chat with y'all tonight. That is good. It's not bad. Good. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. But yeah, I got to catch up on some writing. I've fallen quite a bit behind, which is okay, but you know. If anybody has any questions, feel free to jump in and ask them away, or if you have anything you want to say, I'll be looking over every so often. I'm in a transitionary period of book 14 where Adrian is like settling down for a moment, and some new characters have entered the story, and I'm establishing them, getting them like fully fleshed out and real. That's a lot of fun. Hey Brendan. Active duty Marine. Comic I clipped. I'm gonna take a photo of us and your books are here in the field and send it to you. Oh, that would be awesome. I love that. Brendan, if you're deployed, I've been offering this for years, but I haven't brought it up in a long time. That's my fault. But if you're deployed anywhere, send me your address where you guys can get mail, and a list of some books I can send you. And I'll happily just mail you some for free. Back when Iraq and Afghanistan were all day, every day, I was sending out books to APO, AFOs weekly. And it was cool. It was really cool. The guys were, not a whole lot to do at a fob in Solder City when you're not getting shot at. So having books arrive every so often was really helpful. But that would be really cool. I'd love to see that picture. And thanks to the guys and gals if you have any. But yeah. So some of you have probably seen. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Robert. Some of you have probably seen that I put out the Tales omnibus on the Kindle the other day, and that's something that I've been meaning to do for quite a while now. But I needed to get like enough releases to collect it. Hey, Foster. Hey, Noah. And with 7 out, it was enough to make a boxed set worth it. And it's only in Kindle right now, I've said many times. And the reason why it's not being done in audio is due to rights issues. So the vast majority of my stuff I control all the rights to. But with the audio, there are windows of usability and reusability based on the contracts that were signed to record those things. And the earliest books in the original narration done by James, the clause in the contract is that I can't reuse it for something else right now, and I can't use his audio. And I also can't bring down the book because the contract has to finish before I can make any changes to it online, which is fair, you know. But I can't release the audio until that contract expires, which is, gosh, I think it's beginning of next year, I think. Once that expires, then I can use that audio for whatever I want, and then I can just bundle all the audio together and release it as a single audio release. But until those contracts kind of clear and become unfettered by legal ramifications if I use them, I can't do the audio version, which is a bitch, but is what it is. So, but that's the reason why there's no audio version. And a couple of people have asked for a print version of it, but like a print version of that book would be, I don't know, like 8 inches thick, something like that, because it's 3, full-length, paperback releases plus 4 novellas, which are all, graphic novel-size releases. And if you sandwiched them all together, it would be the equivalent of like 4 novels in one, maybe a little bit more. And there's a limit to how big you can make books. And they won't make it that big, so I can't actually bundle it. And it would have felt kind of crappy if I bundled less books, I could not have, Foster is asking, could you have someone else read those red taped parts? Technically no, because the contract, all audio contracts have a clause that basically say that, like, while this is the recording being used for this title, you can't like re-release it under a different narration. Like, there can be only one, Highlander style. So until that contract clears, I can't do it. The exception to that would be as if I make like substantive changes to the stories. So if I were to go in and make, the criteria is basically, what feels right. But if I were to go back in and make enough changes, I could then have someone else record it, because it would be different enough that it could be considered like a second edition. But that's a considerable amount of work. And at this point, it's easier to just let the contract age out. Also, I would have to pay a narrator, and I could have DJ come in and narrate it. But it would be thousands and thousands of dollars in narration fees for stuff that I already have narrated, that I'm going to own for free in a year. So financially, it would be like a pretty bad decision to do it that way for me. So, just going to let it run its course. But yes, I could, but there are little red flags attached to it. You can already get AI narration. There are companies that offer it, and it's pretty inexpensive. The issue is you get what it gives you. You can't like give it feedback and have it change things, and having pickups done is really tough. So basically, you pay a drastically reduced fee and then roll the dice to see if you get something good. So that's a big risk with AI narration. Also, it just sucks. Like, I don't want to have a robot do it. I want to have an artist. I want to have a person who I can be a partner with and create something special with. Yeah, it's more expensive, but that's art. That's how it's done. Any news on other media, TV show or movie? What can I say? The easy answer is no. There hasn't been any real movement on the TV show. We were very close to some substantial stuff back in like August and September, and then some stuff happened in Hollywood that kind of derailed a whole bunch of stuff, and the AUD kind of the biggest AUD opportunity was kind of like shit canned abruptly, which was devastating. But I mean, that's Hollywood. That's the way it works. You hear tons of yeses until the money needs to show up, and then all of a sudden you get slammed with no's. And I'm used to it. We've been doing this for years now. That being said, there are still some pretty substantial names in Hollywood that are circling it and have asked lots of questions and are tangentially interested. And you know, at any moment in time I could get a call and we're in business. The good news is there are people attached with paperwork that are talented, that are working on getting the show visibility and trying to get something made, and hopefully with The Last of Us being so successful, it shows other studios that post-apocalyptic stories still have tremendous appeal. Of course, Mark Tufo had his show optioned through Audible finally. Audible spun up a adaptation division, basically, because they have so much IP that they publish through Audible Studios. And they basically said, well, why don't we just like develop the stuff for Amazon TV? So they picked up a small amount of audiobook property rights, and his was one of the ones that got nabbed. So he is now officially optioned for Zombie Fallout. That does not mean that he's going to get a show. A lot of people are like, yay, when's it being filmed? But the reality of it is that just means that they're paying him for the right to possibly make a show. And then now, like, the negotiations start, and you know, they'll see if it's feasible, just like they're seeing with me. So we'll see. Is there any talk about a continuation of the hot air balloon folk story? Nope, no talk about that. Last of Us is rebooting the genre, just like Resident Evil. Yeah, it's true. They're doing such a fantastic job on the show. The first 3 episodes were all really quite good. Sean Rannett is reader. Sean Rannett's very polarizing. Like, the people who love him, and the people who hate him, hate him. I've only listened to a few of his books, and he's okay. He's okay. There aren't that many narrators that I actually like can't hang with. So usually I can like tune out the voice, unless it's like bad. Like, you know, like if you're a weatherman, you know, like, and he walked into the room, I'm fucking done. Like, nope, no thanks. I'd rather have Stephen Hawking do it. Josh Green asks, any chance you'll give Josh Green a piggyback ride? Sure. I mean, how chunky are you? You look like me, carrying some weight. But I'm tough. Never read, or never listened to Day by Day. I read the first book, but that's where that ended. AUD video game, no talks, 0 talks. You're chunky. I know you're chunky. Yeah. Fast typing. Yeah, it's like 50, 60 words a minute. That's solid. My production's manic though. Like I won't do anything for 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden I'll just bust out 1,000 words because like my brain has to like assemble everything. So it's not just me like constantly going slowly. It's like nothing. Bam. What's that keyboard? It's just a shitty Logitech USB. I bought a really fancy mechanical one that lit up, but I didn't like it, so I sent it back. And I haven't bought another one since. But I did get a new mouse. I used to have to use the carpal tunnel mouse because I had carpal tunnel real bad. But I got the surgery and I got it fixed, and using the sideways mouse was actually causing me problems because I got the carpal tunnel fixed, so I just went back to a little regular mouse. And again, it's like an $8 Logitech mouse. I don't have nice things. That's okay. I have nice kids. Any new merch coming? Josh, I put up a few new designs on Redbubble. Just like silly stuff. Now well designed the Alpha flag, I put that up there. There's a few other things up there. You could check out the Redbubble. Charlene, you just found me on Audible. Yay! Bought them all in a month. Thanks. Really excited to read the other stuff. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. Oh, you're welcome, Rob. Thanks for dropping in. Can't get used to the mechanical feedback. Yeah, this isn't really a mechanical one. It's just it clicks. It's not like, it's okay. My issue with computers and keyboards is I have really big hands. Like I have long arms and big hands, even for a guy my size. So I'm a little Neanderthalish. I drag my knuckles. So when I have a laptop, small laptops with tiny keyboards, it's literally like I do this to type. Yeah, I painted my nails. My kids painted my nails. And I'm like doing this, right, to type. So I can't type fast at all on a laptop. So I have to use a USB keyboard or a Bluetooth keyboard. Otherwise, I'm like literally pecking one key at a time, and I write like 15 words a minute. So the laptop I currently have is an old gaming laptop. And it's huge. It's like a 17.5-inch monitor. So the keyboard's almost full size right on it. This is good. This keyboard's pretty solid. Do you know if Audible will do a 4-book release like they did book 1 to 4 of the Undead Diaries? Book 1 to 4 of what, Tony? Audible will do a 4-book release like they did book 1 to 4. So that was a decision I made for the omnibus. I own the rights to all of the AUD books. I don't publish them through any publisher. I retained all the rights for that. Some of my other stuff I've sold the rights to Audible. But AUD is like my baby, and I want to control it as much as I can. And when I was bundling things up, the original plan was to bundle 1 through 4 as one box set, and then 5 through 8 as a second box set. And that just like made sense because the value for credit, 4 books, 1 credit, that was really good, and I could have been cheesy and done 3 books, but 4 and 4 was right. And we bundled the first 4, put it out, and it's been fantastic. Like, it's by far and away my best-selling audiobook, year over year, month over month. But I cannot do 5 through 8. Due to rights issues, for the same reason. James, as you guys are aware, James walked away from the series and didn't end our business relationship on professional terms. And it would be a enormously difficult process to untie the contracts and the ownership on those 4 books to bundle them into a second box set. Eventually, I'll wind up doing it, but it's a significant process. Next year may see a lot of development in the audiobook area. It's possible. My hope would be to have the 2, because it's kind of weird for people to do the 1 to 4 and then they have to go find book 5, and then that's just the way it is until then. Starting with book 7, I think it is, the contracts. I simplified all the contracts, starting I think with book 7, and from then on out, I've way more creative control and release control over it. But when I was first starting out, my first 5 or 6 audiobooks released independently, I wasn't really doing them exactly the right way. It all worked out, but now that I'm a little bit bigger, and then I have a little bit more needs. I realize like, oh shit, I should have put that clause in, or I shouldn't have signed off on that, or whatever. But that's live and learn stuff, you know. Oops. Anybody have any other questions? There's 7 of you watching me type. Whoa. The other thing that's been kind of percolating in the background that I was talking about was releasing them in hardcovers, doing the AUDs in hardcovers, because I want to do that because I don't have any, and it's not nearly as complicated to do hardcovers now as it was before. The issue is it's expensive. And the way, you know, my business publishing model is set up, I'm not really designed to just like re-release entire product lines, you know, because that costs money. And, you know, the way I charge enough for my books so that I can cover the expenses to release further books in the formats that I release them in. But if I'm talking about releasing an old book that's not a new release, that won't sell as well as a new release, and it's like the cost of making the whole book again, that's really tough. That's expensive. That's like basically like paying to do a book again. And you know, I need all new art. I need all new layouts. I need, you know, slip covers, all that jazz. And we're going to do it on Kickstarter so people can, you know, basically support it. Is there any chance you could have Tesser make an appearance in AUD? There's always a chance. Maybe as a freakish dream. Hey, Leah. My wife has arrived to troll me. I'm a stickler for continuity, Foster. That's like one of the things that's I'm good at it, and it really matters to me to like keep things like focused in that way, and having people drop in and out of series that weren't designed for dropping in and out makes my brain go a little, you know, cockeyed. Thank you. Juniper did it for me. It's all coming off now, but it's very sparkly and pretty. So like if you go back and you look at the Dry Earth books that I wrote, the young adult ones, if you read those or listen to those, they are so obviously tied to AUD as an homage, right? They're not like the future of AUD. They don't have zombies in them, but like there are character names that port over, there are situations that port over, there are situations that port over, and that's for fun, right? So like when somebody reads AUD and then goes over and reads, you know, The Phone, there's a Kevin Whitten in that book. Halligans show up. There are like references to the book, so it's fun. Also, I think that happens in Colony Lost, and it definitely happens in Diggory. Yeah, the Dry Earth trilogy, of which only 2 are written, The Phone and The Nexus. Those are 2 young adult books that I wrote under the pen name W.J. Orion. And they're good. They're really good books. They're fun. But they're not under my name. So I don't get a lot of crossover, you know, because I don't advertise them a ton to my existing readership. And because the trilogy is unfinished, I don't advertise it like much at all. Kind of caught myself in the middle of a series of questionable decisions about the series. And it's a bummer too because they're really good. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, they I try to cross them over. AUD is like the core. AUD is the my flagship, and everything kind of moves along in its gravitational wake as AUD moves forward. So stuff kind of drops in. So to answer your original question, could Tesser drop into AUD? Maybe. It actually would make more sense for Adrian to show up in Tesser. Because magic is a big part of the Dragon series, and it would be very feasible for one of the more powerful spellcasters to, accidentally open up a portal to Adrian's version of the universe and have the dragon poke his head through. Adrian probably think it's a dream, but that would be fun. And that could totally happen, and I would do that just because it's fun. I don't know if I would pull Adrian through because I wouldn't want to disrupt Adrian's universe. Adrian's already got enough going on, but it would be really fun to have the dragon be like, whoa, there are zombies here. Can I eat zombies? Posting in the fan group too. Yeah, there's so many stories now that are doing the alternate universe stuff. The multiverse. Like the series that I wrote with Mark Tufo and David Moody, The Bleed, is a multiverse story. It's they're bouncing between universes, and if you've read any of Mark's books, like all of his books are multiverse books, where you can just bounce between realities and timelines and characters existing in different universes or whatever. And it's really fun because you can do anything you want with those kinds of stories, but it's also like they're not unique anymore, right? Like, oh, I can do anything I want in this universe. I can now tell any story I want. Well, then what's so special about it? Like, you can do anything. That's what's special about it. So I don't know. Like, I don't want to do too many of those. But I do think I have an idea for a new post-apocalyptic series. I have... it's not AUD related. It would be like a new post-apocalyptic series, but I've had an idea percolating now for a couple months, and I can't shake it. I keep coming back to it. And when I have an idea that doesn't go away, that, when my brain is idle, it's, the story keeps running in the background. When that happens, that's the kind of stuff that usually develops into something I write. Fuck me, Mr. Journal, I think I just saw a dragon. Yeah, that's about right. That's about what he'd say. First the Jinx Fairy, now the oh fuck dragon. Thanks, Foster. Appreciate it. World building is something I love to do. Did you get any more AUD 12 and 13 copies? I don't think I did, actually. Look at my orders. They shorted me on the order I just got. I ordered copies of books 1 through 8, and they didn't send me any of my 5 through 8s. They just sent me the 1s through 4s, and they have the others on the back order. Which is some bullshit, man. does not look like I got any. I'll look after it. Maybe I did. Sin. Sorry. AUD tabletop would be baller. Lots of class options. Yeah. That's been a dream of mine for a long time. I used to work as a game developer, as many people know. And coming up with my own RPG has been like a lifelong goal. I'm the quintessential like geek, right? Like I read comic books and I play role-playing games. And I played Magic the Gathering for years. And I want to make my own role-playing game, and I want to make comic books, and now I write books and a video game. Like I want all that shit because that's my personality. The reality of it is those are really hard to make, like really, really hard to make. They take a ton of work. All the stuff that came up missing when you moved, Chris, no, that entire case of books never showed up. But whatever. As I've said before about the $300 or $400 worth of books that were lost, it's all stuff that I can order again. None of the family pictures were missing, none of the family heirlooms went missing, none of our important stuff went missing, just a box of books, so whatever. Write it off as a loss, and it comes off the taxes a little bit, and I reorder it, and we're good, so whatever. It's a bummer, but it is what it is. I'm actually having a really hard time stocking books right now. I don't have a ton of space to store them where we're at now, and prices have gone up on my end, and I haven't raised prices that I sell. I've been selling my books at the same price now for like 5 or 6 years. I haven't raised them at all, and they're more expensive. And I don't order 4 books at a time. I order like 30 or 40 books at a time. Because I sell sets, right? So at a minimum, when I order, I got to order 1 through 8. So minimum, I'm ordering 8 books, and usually I'm ordering like 2 or 3 sets at a time. Because for some reason they tend to sell in batches of 2 or 3. So that's annoying, and it's just hard to stock them. And what with us having COVID for like the last 2 weeks and recovering from COVID. Packaging stuff up and getting it to the post office has been really tough because we've been quarantining. We were laid out flat. Need coders. Yeah, these are all people I don't know. No, nor do I have a lot of spare time to look into it. I barely have enough time to get the shit that I need to get done. Plus I have ADHD, right? So my brain's all over the place, and I get pulled in different directions, and when the kids have a problem, I just drop whatever I'm doing to go help them, and it's hard for me to come back, and I forget what I was doing when I come back, and it's tough. Medication helps. Yeah, we're all recovering. Leah's the last one. She got better for a while and then got really sick again. But she seems to be on the uptick again. She had a good day today. Yesterday was better than the day before. Today was better than yesterday. So hopefully she's on the path. And again, we didn't have it very severe. Like we didn't have, we didn't go to the hospital. We didn't have to take Paxlovid. We were pretty mild. Lots of snot. Lots of headaches, lots of fatigue, a little bit of diarrhea. Which, isn't that bad really. very important line for the series. I'm not going to tell you what it is. But it's foreshadowing. How's the Diggory Finch story coming along? Good. I finished book 2, and I'm trying to get AUD 14 done before I do book 3 of Diggory Finch. Because again, I left book 13 of AUD in a pretty savage cliffhanger, and as predicted by Carl Meadows and myself, when he read the end of the book before everyone else did, he's like, dude, you're gonna get a shit ton of hate mail. And he's right, I got a shit ton of hate mail, because it ends with a lot of violence and a lot of bad stuff, and there's no resolution, and bad things happen. And I knew people were going to want 14 quickly, so I'm working on 14. And then for Diggory, I actually had a video call with the guy doing the art for Diggory, Remy of Cover Villain, and he's also going to be doing the cover art for the 8 hardcover releases for AUD, because I like working with him and he does really nice art, and he's reliable. And we were talking about when book 3 was coming out. We have a couple of covers in the can for that series that he basically did like 5 or 6 covers really quickly, and we picked one for book 1 and we shelved the one that I liked for book 2. But we have like 3 or 4 covers for that series already. I don't have a title for book 3 of Diggory yet, and I don't know when I'm going to get it. Usually I get a title before I start. Like, I know the overarching theme of the book and where it's going, and like the big, broad strokes, and I can come up with a title. Sometimes it takes me, like, I got to start the book, I got to be like 10 or 15,000 words in before, like, oh, I'm going to call it this. But I'm clueless right now on what to call that. I know the plot. I have it outlined in my head. I have, outlined on paper. I know the big parts that are going to happen in it, and I know the beginning approximately, and I know the end approximately. And that series is really fun to write. Like, it's new. I have total control over it. I don't have to answer to like 9 other books of continuity that I have to go back and like, shit, did he say that? I got to go back and check. Where did was that in book 3? I don't have to do that yet. And that's one of the reasons why I want Diggory to be like 5 books long. That way I don't have to do that. I can write 5 good books and be like, bam, done. Good series. Wrap it. And then go on to start the next one. And like I said before with AUD, I think I only have like 2, maybe 3 more books of AUD in me before Adrian's March is done. And then after that, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to keep writing AUD just to write AUD, Like, it just feels like a cash grab. It doesn't feel like fun and exciting and like appealing. Some writers are happy to just keep churning out the same thing over and over because it pays, but like I want to do fun stuff. I want to like challenge myself. I want to bounce around and see how I can, flex my writing muscles to get better at things. So, we'll see. But the new post-apocalyptic idea I have is pretty cool. There's still some holes in it with like background stuff, but I have the main character locked in. And I have like a couple of the characters that are going to be around him kind of locked in. And I want to do something different. I want to, different for me at least, I want to have it be not a loner, I don't want this apocalypse to go down and have him be isolated like Adrian was. And then in the Dry Earth, when there's an alien apocalypse, the main character Yasmin is isolated. She's all alone. I want this guy to be surrounded by people. I want him to have like a group from the jump. And then I want there to be like a core cast of characters that are there, which is not something I have done. So for me, it's new. Plenty of other series have done that, but I have not. So more to the Philbrook Islands Kingdom. Yes, I love my islands. tough having all the different avenues of social media because, oh, that's awesome. Jason DeBee, the artist that I was partnered with to do the Rock Jockeys comic book, it comes back to the project every so often when he has time, and he's doing some like reimagining of the characters, and he just posted a video on Instagram. His handle on Instagram is JD Illustrates. If you want to check it out, he just posted it. I'll share it as well. It's really cool. He did it in Procreate, so you can watch him do it in phases. Really cool. So talented. How do I just share it to the story? I'll share it to the story. How do I do that? Share to. Oh, I shared it direct. Oh, crock of shit. Does anybody have any questions? 5 of you. Oh, brought me back. Good job, Instagram. So yeah, if you're an Instagram person, I should say, my author page and my personal page on Facebook are linked to my Instagram because I have a pro level Facebook account, which is a thing. I don't know if you guys knew that. You can actually be a Facebook professional. You can get the Meta Business Suite. And I actually managed to do enough cool stuff on Facebook that I'm part of the Facebook Leaders Program, having businesses learn how to use Facebook better. Do I collect weapons? Nice try, ATF. But yeah, you wouldn't want to break in the middle of the night. You wouldn't want to break in. Am I going to do any more GoFundMe? I don't do GoFundMe. I do Kickstarter, just to clarify. And yeah, I'll be doing one for the AUD hardcovers for sure, to let people basically pre-order them. Like I used Kickstarter for the first Diggory book to see if people wanted me to write it, and to kind of recoup the costs of investment. And then for the second book in the Diggory series, I basically used Kickstarter as like a pre-order process, Like I already knew I was going to do the book, and I was hoping that enough people would pre-order the book through the Kickstarter that I could recoup the investment on the series before the second book came out. And I did, which was awesome. Paid for the narration and for all of the artwork and layout and stuff. So I was basically able to release that book without going into debt, which is crazy awesome. And then for the hardcovers, it's going to cost me many thousands of dollars to get new artwork and new formatting and go through the proofing process and the setup process and all that jazz. And that's before I even sell a book. I have to front. I think we figured out that the low number is $7 or $8 grand. I forget exactly. And that's a lot of money. My family's not designed to just suddenly have $8,000 in business expenses out of the blue, especially for a not guaranteed, new release. I know when I put out an AUD novel, or a Diggory novel, then I'm going to sell it. Like, people are going to buy it. They're going to see that there's a new release, and I'm going to sell. So I know that when I put those books out, I'm going to get that money back. But putting out a different version of an old book in a new format, it may not sell at all. Like, I may sell 50 of them, and that's not going to make me $8,000. So doing it through Kickstarter will allow me to offer it to the people who definitely want to get it, and give them like Kickstarter incentives, right? So like, hey, if you want to buy it and you want to help ahead of time, pre-order it through Kickstarter through me, and if you do, I will throw in, you know, other stuff. So like I already ordered. Where did they go? I ordered new bookmarks that I showed people. These are going to be in reverse because the camera's in reverse, but I got new bookmarks for the Kickstarter. That's just like a section of book 4. And then on the back, this is my favorite part, I did banana boxes and Halligans. And then, you know, it says Philbrook author, and then my website up here. So these are super fun. And I got like 500 of these for an initial order. And these will be included with any books that you buy on the AUD Kickstarter. And then I wanted to work on doing Adrian's dice. And, oh yeah, Chris, yeah, that was fun. I did Adrian dice. I ordered Adrian Dice Masters so I could make. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but where did it go? Hold on, don't go anywhere. So I ordered new Dice Masters, and they're D6s, 6-sided dice, right? These are a color that my daughter did, actually. They came out really cool. But they're clipped corner D6s, so if you notice, they're not square, they're like clipped, right? And then on the one facet, there is a Jinx Fairy. I'm probably not going to get this to show up on camera, but if I get the glare just right, you see? Little Jinx Fairy floating there. So that's the one. And then the other side, the 6, is Otis. Alright, so the kitty cat. There you go. It's a little Otis image, right? So you roll a 1, it's a Jinx Fairy. You roll a 6, it's Otis. And I'm working out colors, but this is a set that my daughter Willow did, and you can see it is what's called a Petrie. A Petrie. She did pink because, you know, she's 6. You can see the ribbons of color going through it and stuff. But I want to do a black Petrie pour for the Lacuna, and those will be part of the Kickstarter as well. And I need to come up with a design for the Trinity. And I've done like 5 or 6 different tests, and I haven't found one that I really like yet. But once I do, that'll be part of it, and you'll be able to order, you know, sets of dice through the Kickstarter as well, which I make all right here in the Nerd Lab. And those will be fun. You can only get them from me, because I own the masters. Cool fingernails, thanks. My daughter Juniper insisted that she paint my nails the other day. So here I am, rocking her finger paint. She got most of it on my nails too. I only had to pry off like 4 or 5 ounces from my fingers, which was pretty good. For a 4-year-old, pretty solid. She colors within the lines rather well. So what's new with everybody? Now I'm down to 3 of you. Not many people stay up till 10 o'clock on a Tuesday. Hope everyone's watching The Last of Us on HBO. If you have it, it's really good so far. I loved the game. I think I played the game through like 3 times when it first came out. I got the PlayStation for it. I literally bought the PlayStation 4 I had because it came with The Last of Us. Even if what they say is 10 miles west of Boston is not anything at all like what 10 miles west of Boston is. 10 miles west of Boston is still city. Cirrus planes? What's a Cirrus plane? Waiting for the PC game version. It's so good. No, well, like the premise of it is fantastic. And the characters are just like good. Good. So good. So good. SR-22s. Ooh, Blackbirds. It is. It's really good, Noel. The game is fantastic. The story is awesome. The gameplay is really cool. It's challenging. Like, it's a tough game. There are some spots that are just like... Oh, what's the SR-22? You're right. Hey, well, I have a limited audience of people here. If I were to write personal planes, 5-seaters, okay, so small ones. If I were to write another post-apocalyptic series, what stuff would you like to see? What stuff do you not want to see? Oh, so sorry, Chris. Occultism, a bit of magic, and crafters and professionals working their job. A good idea. I tried to include a little bit of that in the main series, but it's hard. One of the difficult things about writing is like writing about other people's jobs in a way that makes it sound like you actually know what you're talking about when you don't actually know what you're talking about. And you don't always have the ability to ask professionals, you know, in a convincing way or whatever. So you write what you know, and then hope you get it right, and then ask people the important stuff. You dig. You dig. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I don't want to do like a generic virus outbreak series, right? I just don't want to. It doesn't appeal to me. So like I have to do something weird. I don't want to do a cult again. Sorry, Noel, because I already have so many series that operate around like the supernatural and whatnot. But I do want to do something that's like really unusual and off the beaten path. And I have the idea that I have is pretty off the beaten path, and it's different enough that I think people will like it. Hopeful. I just farted. I don't know if that registered. Massive solar flare. A lot of people have been asking me to do, God, what's that called? There's a name for it. I forgot it. An acronym. But the coronal mass ejection, CME books. Doesn't interest me. But having a solar flare be part of it could be a lot of fun. Like maybe it's just hard. Cryptocurrencies being a plot from a rogue AI that ends up controlling everything, and that ends in an apocalypse. The AI shit cans it. Have you seen Westworld? Westworld. The show is really good. I really liked the first 2 seasons. The 3rd season is a little and I haven't seen the 4th season yet, but the first 2 seasons were really good. But that's all about AI fucking up the world. I do have a cool idea. What about science fiction? Some humanity? Fuck yeah. Well, the idea that I have is rooted in science fiction. So it's science-y, but it's fiction, right? So the idea I have will be loosely rooted in science, but it'll be weird enough that it goes in a fantastic direction. Hopefully, I want to have characters that are a little bit more than just human. So I don't want to do the Resident Evil thing though, where like the T virus makes crazy shit. But I also kind of want to write a book like that, where there's more than just zombies running around, and there will be things trying to kill people. Because that's fun. Cordyceps infection, we'll cover that. Yeah, I don't want to say mutants. But changed, I guess, is kind of an idea for it. And I don't want to do cordyceps. I've said before that I originally was going for cordyceps when I started to write AUD. Like that was one of the causes that I was thinking of using. And this is before The Last of Us. And I opted not to because I didn't want, mold and fungus people being like, that's not how it works. So fortunately, I didn't do it. Although it would have been kind of cool, because if The Last of Us blew up like it did, and then people were like, cordyceps stories, I might have got some free publicity. Biodiversity. The idea I have is cool. I like it. It's a little close to something else that's out there, so I'm like trying to pick it apart and like make it different enough that it doesn't seem like I'm ripping it off. Been a lot of writing drama in the horror community this week over some people saying some really awful stuff, but hasn't affected me. Super tapeworms. Immune systems are working too hard. Yeah, tapeworms are fucking weird, man. It's like the ticks that can bite you and give you allergies to meat. Seems to be down. Oh no. Not my side. It's okay. Brain wasps or spiders, octopuses invade. The dry earth is basically octopuses invading. Any sort of parasite can cause superpowers. Yes, that's true. Tommy's boyfriend accident ever gets straightened out. I haven't had DJ go in to fix it. He's been moving, and he doesn't have a studio set up right now, so I kind of let that slide for a little bit. I know it's wrong. People have mentioned it's wrong, and it'll get fixed eventually. I can't believe I didn't catch that too in proofing when I went through it. Totally didn't catch it. Yo, it's Leah. They went medieval in that hospital. Yes, they did. That was a rough scene. Keyboard makes good sounds. Never noticed. Yeah, it's nice. It's clickety clackety. My straw just moved all by itself. The ghosts. It is the ghost, I'm telling you. My straw literally just went like this. Like it was already leaning. It's a circle, right? It goes to the bottom. Why did it move? Ugh. Cold. Everybody, it's late. I'm getting tired, and I think it's just my wife waiting for me to come up, and maybe Foster and I will. So, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you checking in, and as always, if you've managed to stay on this long, thank you. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a message, or an email, or a post, or a tag, or whatever. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.